Stuff like this just really makes me hate wrestling even more. And I continue to go back to that statement. WWE, you just can't help yourself. You just can't. You just can't. You gotta take someone who is a star, who is a legend, who has a historic title reign under his belt, bring him to the main roster, and make him into a chump. Make him into literally... Where do I start with this? What the hell, WWE? What in the ever-living... Last night on SmackDown. I did not watch SmackDown last night. I was too tired and I was catching up on Dynamite. I watched SmackDown. And apparently, there was a segment, and of course a match, that this person was involved in. There's a backstage segment hyping up for a tag match with Sheamus and Ridge Holland taking on the New Day, Big E and Kofi Kingston. And they said they brought someone along. Someone who's rougher and tougher, or this isn't that. He's known by another name. But they bring along a little friend I like to call Butch. And this is just not some random, person off the street named Butch that they're trying to bring in as a jobbing joke. They called up, to my left, Pete Dunne, former NXT UK champion for 685 days. 685 days. And not only have they just changed his look, they changed his name from Pete Dunne to Butch. He looked like a little punk. Literally, here's what I thought of. I thought of Christmas Story when I saw this image. When I went on Twitter and saw this image of Pete Dunne showing up on SmackDown, but his name is now Butch. It made me think of, okay, Sheamus has got to be Scott Farkas. I don't know if Scott Farkas has another friend, but I guess that's where Ridge Holland is. But Pete Dunne is the Grover Dill. He looks like a little kid, a little punk that just is a complete with like the hat and everything. Like they made him just. He looked like an idiot. Like, how do you take a guy who is world champion caliber material, who had a legendary run in NXT UK, 685 days, put on classics with the likes of Tyler Bate, with Trent Seven, Jordan Devlin, I think he had a really good match with, Noam Dar, Walter, I'm sorry, he's now Gunther, apparently. And now you bring him up as like a little joke. He looked like a little kid with a bunch of big boys. That's what you made him look like. Yes, he's short. He's like he's smaller. He's 5'10". The guy is still muscular. He's a badass in the ring. And you made him look like a complete punk. It's a joke. Now, don't get me wrong. A stable with Sheamus, Ridge Holland, and Pete Dunne could actually be pretty good. You punked out Pete Dunne, and again made him look like a freaking child who just some little. Basically, again, like I said, he's a Grover Dill. He looks like a little kid in a gang of big kids. That's exactly what he looks like, and it's not funny. Not funny at all. And apparently, the reason why they did this is because there's rumors of until Big E hurt his neck in the match last night, it was supposed to be New Day versus Sheamus, Ridge Holland, and Pete Dunne. And on paper, that sounds like a good match. And Pete Dunne very well could still put on a good showing on the main roster. But it's a simple name change like that just instantly make you look like an idiot. Not Dunne's fault, of course. He's just going along what he's supposed to do. But it just ruins everything. Look what happened with the Viking Raiders. The War Raiders. The Viking Raiders. The name sucked the life out of them. And now this name Butch, like it It sounds like something Vince would just laugh about. Ha ha ha, Butch. Ha ha ha. It is Butch. It is my pal, Butch. Probably just some name that he loves. He's like, that's the name of a dog. Okay, I don't want to insult that because that's also the nickname that my grandfather had from his mom growing up. It was a special thing between us. I don't want to insult that completely, but still. You literally took Pete Dunne and made him look like a freaking chump. That's exactly what you did. I originally wanted to do a turn alert on this because this is technically Pete Dunne turning heel, but I never did one for him turning face in NXT because it was when I stopped watching NXT. But you brought him up to the main roster and you just make him into a chump. He's going to be wrestling on main event probably in about a year and probably going to be released due to budget cuts. And he just re-signed a new deal back in August. Oh, God. God, this is not Pete Dunne at all whatsoever. He's not some chump whose name is Butch. It just... That's a Vince thing. Like I said, I'm all for a stable of the three of them. It actually is pretty neat. Ridge Holland, who I'm intrigued by, Sheamus, who you know is a very respectable veteran, and Pete Dunne. That's an amazing stable. And here's the thing, too. Here's the thing. If I had faith that this name was just temporary, and it's like, and Pete Dunne would bring him eventually says, they call me Butch, so they're making fun of me, so I'm going to be my real name, Pete Dunne. You know what I can see this being? Another Shorty G thing, another Dewdrop thing. It's going to be exactly the same. When Pete Dunne breaks up for Ridge Holland and Sheamus, maybe in a few months, because Vince may get bored by the whole thing, he's going to say how, he likes the name Butch. I can guarantee that's what's going to happen. But of course, if this would go back to whenever he does break off with Sheamus and Ridge Holland and it's Pete Dunne again, because of course Sheamus had to say, y'all know by him by a different name, and then he actually becomes himself again, and says Pete Dunne, then I can forgive this. Then I have a little more faith. But every time there's a storyline where heels are calling someone else a nickname, obviously mock them or whatnot, and then when they turn face, he'll come like, you know what? I like that name. That's what's going to happen here. That is exactly what's going to happen here. Pete Dunne is going to be Butch for life in WWE unless he leaves. Just when it can't get any worse. What are your thoughts, guys? What are your thoughts on Pete Dunne now being called Butch? Aside from the name, do you like the idea, though, of a stable of Sheamus, Ridge Holland, and Pete Dunne? Let me know down in the comment section below. Be sure as always to slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content to my channel. And follow me on Twitter as well at DemandAirboy93. Until then, guys, I'm checking out. I'll catch you all later. Have a great rest of your night. And peace out, everybody.